everyone and welcome to today's video. If you have been on TikTok or Instagram recently, I'm sure you would have seen something along the lines of 2016 makeup trends that I wish everyone would stop doing. And that informed me that I apparently do my makeup like I'm still in 2016. Which, no matter what you say, I'm definitely living my best life. And I enjoy the way I do my makeup, which is what it's all about in anyways. But I thought today I would try a bunch of these 2021 new and improved techniques to do your makeup and see if I like it or not. Now, I don't think any techniques are new. I think they're just different techniques that are popular right now. But I made a list of a bunch of things that I don't do on a daily basis, and we're going to try them all out together today. Now, the first one has been around for a while and it definitely took the internet by storm, and that is changing the order in which you apply things on your face. So the first thing you apply is your moisturizer, which I already have on and I already let it pull into my face. But then next up is setting powder. So I'm going to tap some out. And I'm going to dab it on all over my face with my kabuki brush. Now, we have all been taught that you do all your creams and liquids first and then you do all your powders, because powders and liquids do not mix. And let me tell you, I can vouch for that one. I am still haunted by the few times that I tried going in with foundation or concealer on top of my setting powder. But we're giving it a try today. I'm using more setting powder than I usually would, but I want to make sure there is definitely some everywhere on my face, where usually I just want it underneath my eyes and then whatever is left goes as far as I can. Next up is setting spray. I really want to push it into my face with my beauty blender, make sure there aren't any dots. Now apparently you need to let this dry entirely, otherwise I guess you're going to swoosh things around. Now I've seen a lot of people saying they really like this technique and it works really well for them. Next I'm going in with my primer over that powder and setting spray, which usually that is the first step, but I suppose as long as there's primer between me and my foundation, we're good to go. My face feels a little velvety. I like it. Now I have 3 layers on my face that are invisible, but are supposed to be a really good ground level for me to start building on. Now I can go in with my foundation, but I want to use this coral colored lipstick to color correct a little bit underneath my eyes. And I'm also going to use it as a cream blush, because apparently a good lipstick is a good substitute for a cream blush. I might mix in a bit of this mauve-ish type of lipstick color just to get it the tone I want it to be. But how you do this is you put a little smidge right where you want it. And I don't want too much of this lipstick because it's nice and bright. And it's really not giving where I want it to go. Come on. And same on the other side. Nice and bright. I really hope I can cover this. Then for blush, I'm going to apply a little bit here. And a little bit here. And a bit of this as well. Now I know this does work because if you watch any of my really old videos, I didn't really have blush and I often used my lipstick for my blush. And I used to say stuff like, yeah, it's to make sure your lipstick and your blush match and the color goes together really well. Meanwhile, I just didn't have blush, but no one had to know that. However, this is not blending super well. Now I'm blending this out with a dual fiber face brush, and as you can see, it blends out into a really nice natural blush. Obviously I haven't blended it out entirely. But cream does look a lot more natural than powders if you really just work it into the skin. Now I definitely don't think I put on enough for it to come through the foundation, so I might put some on afterwards as well. But I also don't want to go in too heavy and then I can't get rid of it and then we regret everything. In my mirror it looks absolutely natural, and when I look up into camera I have 2 splotches. But like I said, I think my foundation's gonna cover that. So next I'm gonna blend this out as thin as possible. You want this color to practically disappear into your skin. It should be as faint as the blue you are trying to cover. Now the color you use to color correct depends on the color you are trying to hide, and there's a lot of color theory behind it, but generally something in the coral direction helps with under eye circles. I'm not gonna lie, I am not super bothered by under eye circles. I know it's a thing, I'm not gonna pretend it's not a thing, so if you can see them, I'm yeah, it doesn't make the makeup look imperfect to me. Anyways, onto foundation. We're using this LA Girl Pro foundation in the color Natural. I'm gonna put 2 to 3 pumps on the back of my hand. This thing is running on empty. And I'm going to use my damp beauty blender to just put it on my face. This is how I always do it. I like tapping it onto the beauty blender and then working it on. That way I spread it out evenly all over my face, number 1. And number 2, I don't have to struggle to spread it. I used to just dot it onto my face and then I had to drag it from one spot to another. Now I don't have to worry about doing that. Now technically you're not supposed to put foundation on around your eyes or on your under eyes and stuff like that, because apparently it's another layer and that just means it'll crease. So you should just leave it and then only go in with your concealer later, but I want to put foundation there, so that's how we do it around here. Now this is one of my own hacks, but the worst thing is when you're running low on foundation and then you squirt it out too much and all this is gonna go to waste. Some of you already know what's gonna happen. But instead of just washing this off or just putting on your face in anyways, I have a little foundation sample container that I got from MAC like way before I was cruelty free. And I just scrape whatever foundation is left into this little container. And then whenever I'm traveling, I just grab this container and use this as my foundation on the go. So the next two hacks are related to your concealer. Number one, I'm going to apply some concealer under my eyes and I'm going to let it dry before I blend it out. I have spoken about this before, but as you let the concealer dry, how can I say it? The pigment becomes like more concentrated and it doesn't blend out that much and it isn't absorbed by your beauty blender that much, so you end up with more coverage. But I will just be highlighting underneath my eyes today, and I always mix a lighter and a darker one just to help me blend it out really well. Now while that is drying, I'm going to go in and spot conceal. And apparently the secret to that is layering. So I already have a layer of foundation on, but I'm going to go in with a little bit more concealer just right where I want it to go, because you don't want to blend it out too far. I'm going to try and cover all my like little beauty marks and stuff like that as well. See how strong this really is. You kind of just want to diffuse the edges more than you want to diffuse what is on the spot, so you have the largest amount of coverage. And for that reason, you want to use something that is your skin tone. So you can use your foundation if you're not sure about your concealer, because otherwise you're kind of just going to highlight it and make it stand out more, and that is not a good idea. Then you go in with powder, but only on the spots, not the whole area, like specifically. Basically baking that area, I believe. Just tap that off. And if you're not happy with the coverage, you do it again. You go in with a second layer of cream on top of the powder. This time I'm using my foundation because these ones are not going anywhere, it seems. But I like how I'm losing sight of some of them. That means this is working. Again, gently blend it out. When you apply more foundation on top of your already dry foundation, that's how you can see that your foundation oxidizes, because these two do not look the same color. Again, setting powder on all of it. You know, other than these two like beauty spots that are still coming through, I'd say it covered everything pretty decently. I'm very happy. Now that concealer has definitely had time to dry, so I'm gonna go blend it out now. It should be thicker and a little bit harder to blend now. And hopefully it covers that little bit of color correction I did. And I'm also gonna blend it out in an upwards direction to lift the face. And I always put it on my upper lid so that everything matches. Otherwise you kind of just have like a light line underneath and it doesn't look as good as it sounds. When I blend here, I blend in a zigzag to mix those two colors together. Just gonna set those under eyes and nothing new here. Look at how red my one ear is for no reason. It like stands out so much now. Now I don't really want to put the lipstick on my cheek again because I had a hard time blending it out. So I'm gonna scribble it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna pick it up with this brush and then I'm gonna tap it onto my cheeks until I'm happy with how blushed that is. And I'm gonna use my beauty blender to just blend that in nicely to help it fade. So what do we think? Does the cream blush look more natural than the powder blush? The other cream blush hack that I saw is number one, everyone's putting it on their noses these days, so let's get that nose nice and rosy. But also, apparently you should put it on the bridge of your nose under your highlighter. So I'm gonna try and blend some right up there. If it doesn't work out, it's just gonna look like I have sunburn. Speaking of highlighter, the next hack is how to get that glowing, fresh, natural look. For that, you're gonna take a highlighter that's not too blinding. The one you would wear when you want people to be like, is she actually wearing highlighter or not? Like, what's going on? No, not that luminescent one, that kind of subtle one. You're gonna pick it up with a big face brush, and I'm just gonna run it up and down like that until I can see there's actually something on the brush. And then just gonna wipe it over your cheek. And now you'll see there, I have some glow, where here, not so much. Given I do have some natural glow here, I'm pretty proud of what that already looks like, but there's more on this side now. Now I'm sure glowing is a personal preference. Some people will be like, you are a donut now? Where other people are gonna think it's super cute, so it's definitely preference, but I wanna be a little bit shiny today. Oh, look at that healthy forehead glow. The alternative is you can mix a liquid highlighter into your foundation before you apply it, but I don't have one of those, so we make do with what we got. Next, I've been using this very shimmery highlight color from the ABH Modern Renaissance palette. It's called Vermeer, and I always thought it was so pretty, and then clicked that I could actually use it as a highlighter, nothing stopping me. So now we're gonna go over the blush on the nose, on the bridge, and then a touch on the tip. I'm also gonna apply some underneath my brows, even though we're gonna do the brows next, and it might erase all of it. Kinda wanna go quickly through these things, because they're the usual. Now, is applying some blinding highlight a 2016 thing? Yes it is, and I'm gonna keep doing it. And the other hack I saw is that right here, either side of the center of your forehead, just add a little ball of highlighter and blend it out, and that again will add to that healthy glowing look. Definitely add some dimension to my forehead. So what do we think of the highlighter on the nose? I think the pink looks a lot less weird. I actually quite like it. I don't mind it. So this hack scares me a little bit, but I saw it on Instagram and it turned out really well for the chick who did it. So she took her lash glue, yeah, and she proceeded to just drag it through her brows like this, which I don't know how I'm gonna get this off. We're hoping for the best, but I'm gonna work quickly so nothing gets too stuck. And then she brushed them into position. So I'm gonna use this little brush of mine, my spoolie broke. And I'm gonna first brush them straight up, which is another popular thing. Usually you just like angle it how it should go, but we're doing fluffy these days, but you don't wanna look absolutely crazy because your brows are standing like that. So once you have it nice up and fluffy, you just cut across the top to tuck in those corners and to create a sharp edge, and down the side. And that is how you do your brows. It is taking my foundation off, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder in a minute to just cover that up, which I guess if you're going to do this, do your brows first. You live and you learn. But that thing is glued down, hey? Who needs brow gel if you got lash glue? I hope I don't end up liking this too much because I am always running low on lash glue. And this is just going to make it go so much quicker. Anyways, quickly brush them up so everything is standing, and then you cut that top to tuck it all down. And lifting the tail is apparently the important part. Oh no, that part dried down before I could lay it down. What do we think? Does it look better? Does it look worse? I can tell you right now, these things are not going to move all day. I pretty much just glued my brows to my face. That's exactly what I did. Oh my gosh. I don't usually carve out around my brows, so I'm just gonna go in with like a bit of a nude color and go around that edge to kind of hide how the glue was taking off my foundation. Now I'm already scared of the next hack. But you take tape and you pray that it sticks to your face and you get it right on the edge of your brow. Where do I want my brow to end today? I feel like this is going to give me super boxy brows, but we are dedicated today. We are trying our best today, okay? I'm going to use so much tape. It's not sticking. Can you hear that I am scared? You know, I used to have little brow stencils somewhere, but I have not been able to find them, and they would have been so good for this. But instead we are looking ridiculous. Okay, let's really get that tail going in the right direction. Where is my tail? Well, there it is today, rather. Why is all the tape I use so dry, hey? Like, even the tape I'm using in the tiny house is always incredibly dry and it doesn't want to stick to anything. Like, what is going on? Now, of course, the fact that I have so many powders on my face is a part of it, but anyways. Now, while I am already entertained with this, I am going to tell you straight up, this is not something I would do every day. Anyways, I'm going to take a fluffy brush, which is apparently what you should use. I'm going to pick up the brown I would use to fill in my brows and just stamp it on. Not brush or anything, stamp it on. Because the color builds gradually, you can't really tell when it's done, but we're trying our best, making sure we're catching all the corners. This is one specific brow product that came out with a stamp, and that's what made this popular again. Now we're going to take it off and hope for the best. Oh man. I gotta work on my sticking game because they're nice and small. Oh man, I look like I just drew them on with a marker. I'm not even gonna do that on the other side. 0 out of 10, do not recommend either of these brow hacks. Rather go in with a brow gel that won't mess up your foundation. Like, I got this funky texture here now. And yeah, get a real brow stencil if you don't want to do that. Also, my face feels stiff. It feels like I have something glued to my face. And I do. My eyebrows. Don't do this one. You've been warned. I don't know how to lighten up the front of my brows. Oh my gosh, they're not even even. You know, it's okay. We're experimenting, and that's what makeup's all about. I'm really excited for the eyeshadow part because I want to try, a little bit modern type of eyeshadow, and I think it looks really cool. But if the face is a mess, I don't know how that's gonna go. Hope those brows are cute because they are never, ever coming off. Now that we got all that out of the way, I'm just gonna do some basics. I'm gonna do some contouring, especially around my nose, and make sure I'm happy with how everything is set so we can continue with the next 2021 makeup trick. You know, I thought this was going well, and 1 or 2 things I was like, I'm gonna start doing this on the reg. I like this so much. Now we did the brows, and now I want to scrap all of this. You know, I said I was gonna do some boring basics, but the one other hack I have is you take your contour shade with a fluffy blending brush and then work it on around your lips. No concentrating it right where you want the color to be. We're going everywhere and hoping it doesn't make us look crazy. Because I hate when I'm applying contour around my lips and I look like I got a muddy mustache. But we're embracing it today. And hopefully this turns out good. Now for the next part, I'm going to try some 2021-esque eyeshadow. And for that, I'm going to have like the sharp edges and stuff like that. So I'm going to use some tape again and hope for the best. But there's no real technique here. It's just a different shape. So I'm just gonna super zoom through that quickly. But what's really popular right now in eyeshadow is something that's really editorial. And if you're not super keen on that, go for funky liner, which you can argue is editorial in itself. But yeah, people have been really into their funky liner. Also, we don't care about our eyebrows. We blend past them these days. Cute. I look like I'm ready to be in a Marvel movie or something. Budget Disney, ladies and gentlemen. I used some of this darker gray in that old palette of mine, and then I used Drift from Urban Decay, and now I'm using the black to just add some dimension. I have a clear idea of what I want to do, but I do not know if we're gonna get it, so we are trying our best today. Also, why do I have so little grays? Such a nice color to work with. Now I really look like I should be in a Marvel movie. I am having fun. You know, I think that's why all these funky makeup hacks and stuff are so popular, because it's just fun trying something different. I think that is what is going on. I feel like this is pretty cool right now, and I'm actually terrified of taking it off and it looking bad, because now I got my hopes up. I feel like my shadows aren't pigmented enough, so I'm going to pop it up with a bit of shimmer. Get some white. Take it to the next level. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready for the dramatic reveal? Pull it off from the bottom. Oh, look at that line. Let's hope the top treats me the same way. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess. I am okay with that. I am very, very okay with that. It's uneven, but that's okay. I like this one more than this one. Yeah, the little up curve, I like it. But we need to clean here a little bit. And here we got that fallout going. But now I'm just going to wrap those same colors underneath, because even though it's in these days to not have your lower lash line, I don't like it. I don't want to feel top heavy. I was never too into the whole blending it out super far thing to begin with, which is apparently very 2016, because I feel that just makes me look more tired. Just putting some nude colored powder over the fallout to kind of help hide it. It is a look. That shimmer is nice. Oh my gosh. Now, like I mentioned, eyeliner is quite the thing these days, and I'm going to use it to accentuate my corners. Down here where I can see what I'm doing. You know, if you thought you needed a steady hand for eyeliner, try doing this. I was just going to do the corners, but it's too tempting to not outline the whole thing. But now I'm really going to highlight how uneven this is. Oh my gosh, am I ready for it? I'm going to add white to my lower lash line to open up my eyes. I feel like my lower lash line is messy, but I don't know what to do about that. So if you're still interested in hacks, here's how you can make your lashes look bigger. So you're going to take your mascara and you're going to put it just on the ends of your lashes, not all the way through. And then you're going to let it dry. And while we let that dry, we're going to do our lips. What you do is you take a nice pink and you apply it in the middle. Spread it out a little bit. Then you go around that with a sheer nude. Blend that in. Now it just look really 2000. I'm actually going to go in with a touch of actual red. Get a little bit more prominent, but not too far because then you mess it up. And then you put on a nude gloss to make it all nice and shimmery. Real cute, romantic, natural looking lips. Back to lashes. Now that they're dry, you pull the mascara through all the way from root to tip. And you give it a little wiggle at the root to really get them looking full. Now I'll be back in a short bit, probably with lashes on because I can't resist, and a more 2021 hairstyle, so I can show you the final result. I overcurled this side a little bit, but that is okay. I'm gonna back comb here a bit with my eyebrow brush. Get a little bit more poof going. Get this to stand a little bit more, so a little flat. I'm gonna twist the blonde so you actually see it in the ponytail. And the last hack I have for you that's all 2021-esque is how to set your face once you're done. And take your setting spray. You're gonna spray a beauty blender with it on the clean side. And then you're gonna use that to tap into your face, and then you can control what you want to set and where and how much. I just want to set everywhere, so we're going everywhere. And then this is the final result for modern, up-to-date makeup in 2021. Now I don't know how I feel about this look. Half of me really likes it and feels like if I try it again I can like get it perfect, and the other half of me is like, what is on my face? But let me know what you think of all the techniques we used in today's video, how many of them you use yourself, how many of them you're willing to try yourself, and then what you think of the final result. If you do like how it turned out, please thumbs up this video so I have a higher chance of showing up in search results. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed playing with my makeup today, and I'll see you again next time. Bye! But as insane how you can like hide everything behind glasses and just be like, oh, haha, hi.